Yes, greetings to all the community members there. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show. Welcome back to another interesting topic. A few topics. We'll have a few topics lined up, but one of them is quite interesting because it's been some unexpected development, and I know it will be shocking to a lot of Chelsea fans. But we will get into that today. But more importantly, I hope you're all doing well. I always love to see you guys join the show. So more importantly, I hope you're eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. Sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. All right, guys, if you can still hear me, just give me a few seconds. I think I will sort out this issue. Technology is very quirky, as I believe you all know. Let me see. I think I'll go with this one. All right, please do let me know if just give me 1 second. Yeah. Okay, the walk around is on, but the screen will no longer walk. The more importantly is that we continue with the show. I'm not sure what's going on with it, but like I said, so much plugged in to get the whole thing walk properly. Glenn, a big up to you. Always nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join in the show. A big up saying hello to Constantine Dante. Let's see what else we have here. Not bad. Just having some late dinner. I know it's late in Australia right now. Bon appetit. Yep, enjoy your meal. And thank you so much for considering joining the show today, 9 p.m. over there in Australia. So I give kudos to you for even joining us, even at that. Remember, guys, I will try the best I can not to forget. I really do want to take care of the giveaway today. It's a promise of to our student followers every month. I wholeheartedly would like the community to do something for them. I think even as the membership did not earn a lot, enough for me to do like I promised, I will make it up and do it as promised. But that's, by the way, Australia. Yeah, I know that. Let's see what we have here. Smash the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes to go a long way, like I've explained. The more you like the stream, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered, and the more people will have joined us here on the show. We have this one, Belgium with some French English. Okay, let's move on from that one. Hazard, why you like Chelsea? I'm not sure where that one is coming from, but I'll move on from it. Let's see what else we have here. Started. Okay, you're having a conversation there with Constantine Dante, I'm guessing. Let's see anything else to read here. Let me move on from those two guys having enjoying a conversation there. Let's see what else we have. Okay, nothing new there. But the bro here, Real Gems, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. We want Enrique. Majority of the Chelsea fans, as I've seen myself, they want Chelsea, but it all comes down to what the hierarchy wants, the man they want, or the man they feel like fits, the project very well. And I'm seeing from what I've heard, they're leaning towards Julian Nagelsmann. Big up, Kachila. What are we waiting on with the Nagelsmann announcement? I don't think it's all done and dusted, but again, it's easy to come to that conclusion given the fact that we've learned that he has some people within the Chelsea hierarchy that he's worked with before, especially more specifically Christopher Vivell. But that's no guarantee, according to what I've read. That doesn't mean that he's the front runner, but a lot of other things we've heard indicate that he's the front runner. But let's see where that goes. A shot from Chelsea training, probably hit coach. Okay, I'll move in from that one. Wow, wow. That's not one guy. That's one guy I don't want to look like. Bless up to everyone in the chat. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else? Is declared around since the Red Bull model is inevitable. Come and remind us again why this will work. I think maybe you're being sarcastic, but I'm quite sure the Clark's argument the last time he referenced the Red Bull model was when he talked about why he thinks the club will not hesitate to hire Julian Nagelsmann, given the fact that he understands the Red Bull model quite well, and because the club essentially is copying the Red Bull model, and Christopher Vivell being at the club, and other reasons he mentioned, I don't want to misquote him. So it does make it easier for people to buy into the rumor that in fact Julian Nagelsmann will eventually emerge as the club's new manager. Declared is a bit of a CFC live stream star. Wow. On every channel. He loves Chelsea so much. And whenever you see him present an argument, he does that passionately, and always comes with facts to back up his argument, if you understand what I mean. Now, this is what we have here. When Coachella was away, I looked in all the channels, and he was everywhere. Yeah, he loves the club so much, and like I said, presents his argument with facts or with some event that backs up his argument. Sometimes when it's his opinion, he references events that backs up his opinion. If that makes sense. Let's see what else do we have here. Quite a lot of stuff that I really do want us to talk about. Let's start by talking about the manager hunt, the Chelsea FC manager hunt. It's everywhere right now. But let's start with this comment here that says the race remains open for the Chelsea manager's job, but Julian Nagelsmann is still the favorite. I think that's just an assumption, because I've read a lot of stuff online that indicate that it's not just that sounds as if the rumors that we're seeing stating that Julian Nagelsmann is a front runner are just rumors. And like I said, it's easy to believe that, given that he's worked with Christopher Vivell and others that are that work for the clubs, if that makes sense. So we move on from this one. Let's go to the next one here, which says that Julian Nagelsmann is thought to be the front runner, which also you can say this is a repetition of what we just read before, for the manager role in the eyes of Chelsea sporting director and at least one member of the board. So it's everywhere. This one is not. It's just saying one member and the other one, the sporting director and one member of the Chelsea hierarchy, or however you want to reference that, the role of the person there. We move on from that one. To me, like I said, I'm just going to keep repeating myself because it's out there. Julian Nagelsmann, it's easy to believe that he's the front runner, given the fact that Christopher Vivell, who he's worked with, is at the club. But the truth remains, other stuff that we've seen online indicate that he isn't, that they haven't made up their mind, that they are still considering other candidates. And we get into that in a bit as we talk about the stories even more. This one here is the one that's going to shock a lot of Chelsea fans. I'm shocked too. I thought we weren't talking to him. I thought the club wasn't considering a Mauricio Pochettino. But here we have it, a reference in Nizar Kinsella, who says Mauricio Pochettino is expected to join Julian Nagelsmann in the next round of the Chelsea manager search, which means he's made it to the final search, because I believe the next round is actually the final round, where you have a Mauricio Pochettino, you have Julian Nagelsmann. I think Enrique is still there, even though there are some reports suggesting that they've ruled him out, given for the reason that again saying that he made some demands that they believe that the club hierarchy didn't like, or didn't align with what they want from a manager. Let me just phrase it like that to simplify it so that people will understand that. So we'll move on from that. This also says Mauricio Pochettino is the candidate who is collectively liked and accepted by everyone on the Chelsea board. That makes it even more interesting. In the case of Julian Nagelsmann, it just says the director and one other board member. But in this case of Mauricio Pochettino, it says Mauricio Pochettino is the candidate who is collectively liked and accepted by everyone on the Chelsea board. So to me, despite everything else we've read, we've been hearing, it just sounds as if Mauricio Pochettino is actually the front runner, or will eventually emerge, as the new manager of Chelsea Football Club. You let me know your thoughts before we start analyzing each of the managers and deciding or coming to a sensible conclusion which of them we think is the better fit for the Chelsea job. And this says Chelsea have had a consistent contact with the former PSG and sports manager. Yeah, that's where the concern lies for me here. Sports boss. Yeah, that makes it quite interesting. It'd be interesting to see what you have to say. To me, if they decide to hire Mauricio Pochettino, I don't have a problem with that. Honestly, I'm a Chelsea fan, but I look beyond the fact that he was a Tottenham's manager to the fact that he actually overachieved, given that how ill-equipped he was when he was still at Tottenham. That's how I see it. But that's why I want to get your opinion for the fact that it sounded like if Mauricio Pochettino is actually the true front runner, not Julian Nagelsmann. But you let me know. But as I've explained before, it's easy to believe that Julian Nagelsmann is a front runner, given that Christopher Vivell is at the club. But reading these, I think this one here, let me see what else. This one, yep, that says at least. Yep, the sporting director, and at least this one here that says, let's read this one again and read the other one. It says Julian Nagelsmann in particular is thought to be a front runner for the manager's role in the eyes of the sporting director and one other board member. That is just two people. But in the case of Mauricio Pochettino, he says Mauricio Pochettino is a candidate who is collectively liked and accepted by everyone on the Chelsea board. To me, it's common sense. He is actually the front runner. If we go by by what we just read. And here's the poll. It's just an interesting poll. While I wait for you to give me your thoughts on what you make of the fact that Mauricio Pochettino is in the race to become the new Chelsea manager, and it's looking like he's the favorite, given that everyone on the Chelsea board likes him. Let's see what you hear. And this here is a poll by Chelsea Dodgers asking Chelsea fans, as a Chelsea supporter, would you accept Mauricio Pochettino as a manager? 18% said yes. 69.1% says no, and 12.1% says not sure. Here's the thing. If you let's say add 18% plus 12%, that should be 20, around 30 point something percent. I think that's an acceptable number, which means if it comes in and starts winning games and the team starts doing well, I think even those that didn't want him at the club will start supporting him. The win is what we want. We cannot deny that, if that makes sense. But I want to get your thoughts with the fact that Mauricio Pochettino is one of the candidates being considered, and the fact that the club, they've been in constant contact with him, with the former PSG and sports manager. To me, I don't have a problem with that. I think he'd do well at the club. But you let me know. I want to get your thoughts. While I wait for you to put in your thoughts there, I'll go through the comments to see everything we have there. This here says, I think I've read that one. Big Poch will be the manager of Chelsea. Is that what you think, this and Donald? Elaborate. I want to know why you think that's the case. I feel like we are going for a bogus man. It's because Todd the clown wants a yes man. Here's the thing, but it's not about Todd Bowley. Like we've read here, what you see on the screen here, I hope you can still see it, clearly states that every member on the Chelsea board prefer Mauricio Pochettino over Nagelsmann. But in the case of Nagelsmann, it is just the sporting director and one other board member. So except if democracy doesn't work there, it's not a case of majority carrying the vote. But let's see. Kimso, trust them to make up something like that. But big up, Kimso. More importantly, I haven't said hello to you. I hope you're doing well, and I hope the exams you told us about, I hope it went well, because I'm sure you're done with it by now. Maybe I should say. We move on from that one. Here we have not sarcastic, declared legit believes in the Red Bull project, and he is a thinker. I'm always open to being persuaded. Here's the thing. I think maybe I could be wrong. There's a chance I'm wrong, but I believe declared referenced the Red Bull model, given the fact that Nagelsmann was the moment he became available, declared suggested that the club will most likely go for him because he'll be the most aligned with the project. He'll be the most, you can say, suitable for the club's project, because they copy the Red Bull model. But let's see what happens. Hopefully he gets a chance to join us today, but it's late, probably going to bed. I do not want a Pochettino at my club, and you have to elaborate. have we ever got a manager that coached a rival club? Oh yeah. Let's see. For instance, one prime example is Rafa Benitez. I think he hoped, maybe he had hoped that he'd keep the job on the apartment, and if he helped the club make it to top four and also win something, he actually won something for us. And had the owners decided that they want to keep him, I think he would have stayed, and there's nothing we'll do about it. And I'm sure the new owners, I think I've heard that from somewhere before. Forget all the PR stunts, what we believe are PR stunts, of the hiring of Frank Lampard, which most of us believe is a PR stunt. If they decide to hire him, I don't think there's anything we can do about it. And if they really want to hire him and they feel like he's the right man, I think they'd go ahead and hire him. But let me go ahead and try and catch up with everything else we have in the hat. I heard Enrique fell out of the race because he wanted his staff who are spread between the different clubs, which in turn could cost Chelsea a lot of money. I haven't heard that one. If anything, what I heard was just maybe simplified what you just said by saying he made some demands, which the clubs, according to the rumor, aren't willing to meet. But I'm also hearing that he's not out of the race yet, if that makes sense. Enrique wanted power over the transfers. That's something else. That this is what Kimson just said is completely different from what you just said yourself. Enrique, yep, I've read that one here. Constantine Dente said Arsenal and Tottenham always get us second. I hope we don't start doing the same. If he can get the job done, the least of my concerns is what club he's coached. I swear, if we get Pochettino, okay, I'm not sure. I don't speak emojis, so I really do not understand what you were trying to say there. It just doesn't feel right. Beyond that, what else can you bring up to say that's the reason he's another good manager, that I want to know. Todd Pauly wants a yes man like Poch. I don't think, okay, maybe you could be correct. Maybe that's why he stayed at Sports as long as he did. But I would argue maybe he stayed there because he wanted to polish his resume. And believe me, if I'm a hiring manager, I'd take him, given the fact that he actually overachieved, if that makes sense. I wanted Simeone. That's one man I don't want on my club. And here's the thing, I always say this, we are all entitled to our opinions. In my opinion, Enrique is my preference. Yeah, but if we get Nagelsmann, I'll take him. And I've explained to you, if the club ends up getting Pochettino, I'll take him too. But my first choice is Luis Enrique, second choice, Julian Nagelsmann, and then everyone else comes after that. Watch Nagelsmann go to Real Madrid. They want him too. I heard that. Pochettino is a better idea than Nagelsmann. None of them is elite. That your opinion there, and I respect and I like it. People, if it helps, forget everything you know about Chelsea and what we know and what we would have done years ago. It's a new age. It's as simple as that. These guys will make decisions they believe is good for the club, and not. In most cases, I think, yeah, they've shown they're PR merchants. That's how I like to phrase it. But at the same time, they're going to make decisions they believe is best for the club. And they know if they make that decision, if it starts working out, everyone else will fall. Everything else will fall into place. Good afternoon, fam. Ovia Joy. Good afternoon to you too. Always nice to see you. Pochettino, yeah, very creative of you there. I see what you did right there. No, it's obvious Todd Pauly is here to ruin this club. I would not say that, but you're entitled to your opinion. Like I've said, every decision they've made, I think they have. They're all with good intent, but they've made mistakes, and which they're humans. And hopefully they've learned. But I'm saying they've learned. For the fact that they're not in a rush to bring in a new manager, they're taking their time to interview them and probably do more research. Shows they've learned something in that aspect, if that makes sense. Let's see what we have here. Poch Sports Pass is causing some unrest. Should he come in, win some games and take a dig at Spurs, all will be forgotten. I guess that's a quick solution. That's a quick way to solving that problem, if that makes sense. Let me bring in Bobby and get his thoughts with the fact that Pochettino has become one of the managers, according to Simon Phillips, and also Nizar Kinsella did say that too, that the club is considering So, Bobby, big up to you. More importantly, thank you so much for finding the time to join in the show. I hope you're still there. If you're there, your thoughts on the fact that Pochettino is in the running to becoming the new Chelsea manager.
Yeah, big up, coach.
Big up to you, brother.
This is laughable. I promise you one thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you want instability to continue in the club, and if you want disharmony to continue in the club, put an ex-Spurs person. We're not Spurs. We don't look for their people. They look for ours because they want to be us. We don't want them. And I will promise you, if that guy steps anywhere near Chelsea, the fan base will be divided. And if he goes through a rocky period, he will get pelters, even worse than Rafa Benitez. Don't want Pochettino. Keep people like that away from this club. This is not the time to bring in disuniting figures. Yes, he's worked in the Premier League before. Yes, he's this, that, and the other, though he didn't win anything at Spurs. Don't want him here. He does not belong in Chelsea. Chelsea has a deep culture. And with that deep culture is a deep disaffection, for looking for a decent word, with clubs like Spurs, Tottenham Hotspurs. We don't want them. We don't want their ex-managers. We barely even want their players unless they're really, really exceptional. So Pochettino, no, is BS. The usual suspects are out on social media, stirring it, coming up with nonsense. There's another guy out there talking about FFP, and there's one particular person with, gosh, so much blind hatred for Todd Bowley. I'm actually quite concerned. I think this guy has some issues because the hatred is extreme for somebody that on the face of it you don't particularly know. It's like that guy can't even breathe without getting hatred from you. And then we've got another one, anything negative about the club they push out there. Then these guys know that the fan base won't really take to Pochettino. And what do? They flog that story. That's why I came out with the Hansi Flick thing. I'm not a big content maker or anything, but it will get traction. And boy, wouldn't it be funny if they blindside all these fools and appoint him. He would be the perfect appointment for me, actually. He would trump Nagelsmann and Enrique. Is it happening? To be honest, I don't know. It could be. And all this time could be working out something with the German FA. Who knows? It's possible. But, that's the sort of thing I would like to push, because they're pushing garbage, absolute garbage. They want to wind up Chelsea fans even further. Bring in someone like Pochettino. He will have to have 100% record for him to be ever accepted at Stamford Bridge.
All right. Thank you so much for that contribution there. Roger, in a bit, I'll get you in. Just give me a few moments here. If you are going for for Tony Pulisic, Big Sam, keep Lampard. Okay. I'm not sure what to make of that. I'll come back to this because, Roger, I want you to present your response to this, because it's still rumor no matter how we see it. Why again? I want you to look at this while you present your response. I think, that's the point I wanted to make there. Let's see what we have here. I keep saying it. We need the special one. That's all. Let's see what happens. There's one manager available that every fan knows is the only one qualified to be here. But we are being slow. We're being slow walked into the letters aboard a fiasco. Here's the thing. I'm not sure Enrique is out yet. There are conflicting reports out there. Some say he's out. He's not being considered. He's not in the final phase of the selection process, of the hiring process, maybe. Some saying he's there. They haven't categorically, said he's out. So, but there's no way to tell. All we just, you could say, base our opinions on what we're seeing out there. Speculations. That's how I see them. If Poch, it's Poch, mark my word. Dixon, Donald, I have said that. This is the second time you're saying that. Vivell permitted Lampard to be there. He's no longer credible in my eyes. In your eyes, and I like how you ended that particular sentence. Pochettino can go to Madrid. We don't need him. This is just a response to what someone else said. And somebody here says, Poch wouldn't go to Real Madrid because he is a Catalonian. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. The Red Bull clubs win any major trophies. So basically, we're going to become a Red Bull Chelsea. That's a legit concern. If in fact they haven't won anything, I don't know their records too well. If some of these models are this good, why haven't all the top teams tried them before? Are we trying to set a trend? That's a good question that I don't know how to answer. Maybe I need to highlight that one too. But I really want to go back just quickly. I want to get Roger's thoughts quickly. Red Bull London. If we can spend 60 million on Kukurea, we can spend that number you have there on Jose, a fan favorite, no nonsense, and to me, the greatest coach ever. Well, I have my own choice in terms of who's my greatest coach ever. And you'd be surprised if I'll put a poll in a bit. You'd be surprised how many Chelsea fans that don't want Jose Mourinho back. The reason I don't want him back is that he's not. You can say he's not progressive enough for me. But we'll start winning stuff, and then our fan base will start complaining how negative we are during games, especially when we play the big boys in the league. Coachella, we are fans. We absolutely can do something about it. We don't need to accept this incompetence. Wow. Precisely as Coachella says, Rafa Benitez is a perfect example of that. Is JC, my bro. Big up to you, JC. Much love to you. Rafa Benitez is a perfect example of some experience at Chelsea, which Poch can look forward to and learn from. Stay away. Wow. You studied it, and I felt like, okay, maybe he's one of the people that thinks if he comes in and win games, and then that's it. But like Bobby said, he would take some extraordinary performance for the fans to, all the fan base to start warming up to him. But I've showed you that statistics on that poll on the screen. If you add up those that said not sure and those that says they said yes, it's up to 40% plus or so, or 30 plus, but that's not bad. But I'm going to come to you right away, Roger. Your thoughts on this development, because it is believable. Two different sources have reported this. This is Simon Phillips, and the first one here about this is Nazak and Sela. I know they're not right all the time. It's believable, but we must take everything with a pinch of salt. But Roger, big up to you. Your thoughts on the development.
Hola, senor.
Me no Spanish.
How are you, gentlemen? How are you?
I'm cool, brother. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, as you can tell with the tone of my voice. Listen, I actually kind of disagree with Bobby on certain things, and some things I agree with. First of all, word of the day, disaffection. Wow. You hit that out of the ballpark, old bean. Well done. I love it. Kudos.
Big up, Roger.
How are you, sir? But he's right, though. You know, he's right in this context. This does not go down well if Pochettino is indeed hired. I think the question that was posed by Glenn, will that be forgotten? Yes, it will, because winning cures everything. If we win let's say hypothetically, Pochettino is hired next year, we win a league or a trophy, whatever, you know, that will be forgotten. I guarantee you. He listen, Spurs is a huge rival for us, being in a London club, but so was Liverpool, being a domestic rival. However, their former coach that coached us, the Spaniard, forgot his name. He won us the Europa League. You know, yes, he wasn't liked at all. We can safely say that.
Chelsea fans used to call him the fat controller.
Yeah, words to that effect. So yeah, I get it. But you know, he wins trophies. This is my personal perspective, gentlemen. I don't like the fact that he has a history with Spurs for obvious reasons. You would have to be a cretinous moron to think otherwise. However, I've said this before. If you take him away from Spurs, and let's say he coached, I don't know, Burnley all this time. Well, he's coached Southampton and with very little means and a small budget. He did so well with the youth there. He did so well for Spurs with, let's be honest here, quite a limited budget compared to the other big hitters in this league. And he nurtured a team that hit above their weight. Let's be honest here. They reached the final
He overachieved
of the Champions. Yes, he did. With little means, and I mean that politely. Yes, I know they shopped after they sold Bale and what have you, but he did very well. He's got a track record of doing that. If we do get him, and I think he suits this quote unquote project rather well. It seems to be his MO. It seems to be in his DNA to do this. So I would actually welcome that. Welcome that in the fact for him based on his track record. Him being a Spurs fan, it's antithetical to everything that I believe in as a Chelsea fan. You know, and as Bobby has alluded to, it's just it will sink like a brick. You know, swim like a brick. It's that simple. And he's right. Bobby is 100% right. If he even hits a small bump in the road, the fan base will turn on him like red meat in, a shoal of sharks. It'll be that bad. It'll be ferocious.
Red meat in a lion's cage.
Yeah, there you go. It'll be. Hide your children's eyes, turn them away. It'll be brutal. But you know what? I think all will be forgotten, as Glenn had asked, if he does indeed achieve with us. And listen, when you look at our roster, our squad, and you look at the talent that has potential, and I use that in italic words, potential based on a Modric, a Manueke, etc., etc.
So you're typing with your mind and at the same time speaking.
Yeah. It's really seriously. This is, my heart says no, my brain says yes. Well, I mean, when I say brain, that's a loose definition, right? But I'm just being honest, Bobby. I get what you're saying. There is no way any part of me or any Chelsea fan can argue what you said. But I'm just being, neutral. I'm just looking outside the proverbial fishbowl. That's all
what
I'm
you're
saying.
saying makes 150 million% sense. It really
Only?
does. He has he has the pedigree.
Yes.
He has the stature.
Yes.
But it's the stench of Spurs that's going to be hard for him to shake off.
It's pungent,
and if
isn't
he
it?
didn't have that, he would probably be one of the perfect options.
Yes.
But Chelsea fans will not forgive him. Okay, if he hits a rocky patch, because it might take some time, he might need
what do you
some
mean
time.
if? It's going to happen. You know
Exactly.
it is.
And unless by the time it happens, he's won a couple of major
Sure.
trophies.
But
you can
that's...
imagine, at a time where we don't have Champions League football, he has to win some big trophies vis-a-vis the Premier League for us to really take
or
to
an
him.
FA Cup. Yeah. And you know what? Actually having no European football next year will really be advantageous to him because he can actually work on the practice field and minimize the rotation and specifically identify the players he wants to start. But you're right. And listen, let's be truly honest. But based on what we've done so far, unless all of a sudden Nkunku or Broja or I don't want to say the L word, or we get someone else that actually starts being clinical, we are going to, Bobby, hit multiple patches.
Let me ask you this, Roger, quickly.
Yeah.
If there's a way Poch can come in and help us get Harry Kane join Chelsea, would you take him?
Is the Pope Catholic? Yes. In a heartbeat.
And I'm not sure Bobby would say yes to that too. That's where the culture thing, it's serious. Yes. And I understand how deep it goes. And I understand it goes to the extent that Daniel Levy didn't mind selling, Modric to Real Madrid, even for a lesser amount than send him to Chelsea.
Yes.
I understand that.
Yeah, it's deep. Okay,
can you imagine, it's deep.
Right?
It's
If
But my
sincerely.
point is,
if Poch
what I
plays
want to
against
let's probably
Spurs
start with
and he
this, and I'll
doesn't
come to
win,
you. I'll come to you again, Roger. We have quite a lot of stuff to.
Yeah.
Let me just quickly try
Can I
and catch
just
up.
say one thing?
Yeah.
Just one thing. By the way, RB Leipzig won their domestic cup last year, and Salzburg is really, they play in Austria, right? And they're just a one league team, so they have a proven record, but not exactly.
Okay, that's
Real
with
Madrid
regards
esque.
to the argument whether the
Yeah,
Red Bull model has
yeah.
won anything.
I just
Okay,
wanted
I'll
to
come
say
back
that.
to Bobby, and I want to start him with that question with regards again the culture. I think they're going to try and fix it. The new owners, and we've heard he's had meeting with a couple of even rival owners and all that. But let's see. I'll come back to everyone in a bit. Let me catch up with what we have. Bobby says Hansi Flick appointment is the perfect blindside. If it happens, I'll take it. To me, if he comes into the fold, and I'm sure he's one of those being considered, I'll say he's my number one choice. Like I've always said, I don't know how he was able to coach his team to play with pragmatism and at the same time beautiful football. If anybody understands what I mean by that, big up, coach. Is it true that Frank Lampard doesn't have doesn't have no coaching
No, he has
badges?
coaching badges. He has them.
I'm not sure if there's a possibility that he's got the chance if he doesn't have one.
No,
But
I believe he does have badges. I remember seeing him in interviews talking about getting his badges, studying.
Okay, I will research that. And remember, people were doing a giveaway, students giveaway, monthly giveaway, student giveaway today. No matter how many people we have in the chat, I had to delay it a bit to see the old timers be part of the show. And I'm seeing Kinso, and I'm seeing other people here. I believe that our students have been old timers here. What's good, Chad? This is a clear indication that the board sporting director predates Bali are flawed, and I feel for the managers. Wow. Neum, nice to see you there. I hope you're doing well. What else do we have here? Facts from who? My club is finished. I don't think we're finished, really. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I am taking a Son or Kane. Yeah, but you're not going to take Pochettino. I'm guessing Louis Rivera. I want Nagelsmann or Enrique. Those are my two choices. And again, everything we're saying here is based on our opinions. If it were up to us to make that decision with pick one manager or the other, but no matter how we feel about this, I'm still going to let you know that it all comes down to what the owners want. Majority of them, because I believe that probably there will be a vote. Anybody who wants a Poch at Chelsea and a Chelsea fan. Okay, if that's your opinion, we all know who you are talking about. Let's see what else we have here. Now, you can see the ball mission is to ruin Chelsea. Ovi, you said that like the second time now. Let me see what else we have here. And unfortunately, I think I may well scroll to the very bottom of all the contributions in the chat. Constantine Dante says, I think we have to consider some of these coaches don't want to join Chelsea after meetings. Wow. That is some statement. Can you back it up a bit? The winniness of the windiness for sure. What about that dumb Mudryk dressing room article? That one is the most stupid I've ever seen. Even if that happened, it's natural. It's nothing. I would again. I would take my time to think about. It doesn't make any sort of sense. That one I can say it's absolute nonsense. They rule out Enrique because he's not a yes man. I've seen something that clearly states that he's not ruled out yet. As you said, I think it's all speculations that based on his demands, they will probably not be in the race anymore. That's exactly what I've learned. I am better tactically than Lampard. Wow. But I remember something else. Maybe Lampard is better than you in that aspect that you always say you're not lucky with that. But much love to you, Kemi. So, oh my, Chelsea are going in the wrong hands. Wow, Simon, that's some argument right there. Let's see what else we have. I can imagine the board sporting director having a say in selection of these off-form players playing consistently. Wow. All this dumb palace intrigue around this selection is more distraction so that they can sneak another weak or inexperienced manager through the back door. Your statements are always stronger than I can read sometimes. Let's see what we have here. Coach, I get it that you like the idea. And I know Jesse will have a go at me. See how he starts it, but let's see how he ends. Coach, I get it that you like the idea of having Poch. Take a deep breath. Okay, do you want me to do that?
Namaste.
That. Yeah, namaste. Take a deep breath and just see how many times you have repeated the sentence in the last 15 minutes. It's your opinion. I'm worried. It's my opinion. That's it. I like the last part of your comment, but I know you are gonna. I love you, but you always like fighting me, and I like fighting you too. That's why we have a show, not a fight. I like debating with you because without the debate, then nobody needs the show because they already have they make up their mind and go with whatever they believe is the case. But much love to you. I always like reading your comment. Shahab Ramani says, Poch is a very good coach. Man, is a good, yeah, okay. Every coach has failed at Tottenham. I think Nagelsmann and Poch are the best as they can mold our young players and develop him. Just get rid of that word first. Here's the thing. In terms of developing young players, I think he's excellent at that. You could say Poch developed quite a lot of the players that did well in the past 5, 6, 7 years in the Premier League were from Southampton. The Manes, who again, there's one that went to Liverpool, it didn't really work out for him. The right back, I think the right back. There's also he worked with the Liverpool defender Van Dijk. There are many of them that he worked with, and at Liverpool and at Tottenham, see what he did with Dele Alli, and without
Mane
him,
also.
Who?
Sadio Mane from Southampton.
Sadio Mane, yeah, I talked about him, the current Bayern Munich player and all that. I think he's good with young players, but it's not my decision. I have to say that Poch coached some very good young talent, young players at Spurs. I guess I am for whoever will keep us up from quitting every time we are challenged. And I think he's a good manager, but I get it. I get the argument. The culture thing is a serious thing. And even Bobby accepts he has the pedigree. But he's concerned with regards, his concerns are with regards to the culture thing, how Chelsea fans could turn against him. PSG have done, I think that they've done for a long time ago. City in the UEFA Champions League semi-finals after beating Bayern, Chelsea horror season, Arsenal second, who broke the metrics. What you say that last, I get it. Somebody did. That's it. What's that song that says a glitch in the metrics may be? Shahab is so Chelsea. Oh yeah, Chelsea are not done as we have massive problems, unlike PSG. I think we'll overcome. I think we'll have to learn from that case and make sure we don't fall into that trap or head towards that direction that in a few years then we'll find ourselves in a similar situation. God forbid a City leaves that Champions League. Well, here's the thing: we all have our opinions. I'd rather they win it than Courtois winning it. If we want to get personal with our opinions, Roger, cheers for agreeing, but I must say, take it with a pinch of salt. I've seen us win a Champions League, and there was only one day of peace. Did you hear that, Roger? That's for you. Yeah. JC, also, I hope this one isn't for me. In a way, I agree with Coachella. Oh, amen. But let's see how he answered. Pochettino would be a great idea, but Bali to get a crash course on CFC folklore.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Coachella, the need for Mourinho is bigger than football. We need him to restore our confidence. Make sure that the big club is intact. Let me remix that one for you a bit. We also need the squad to protect, to be protected from these owners. Here's the thing. I think I've said that before. I did a tap in on the Bluetooth game saying, if I were in charge, the first thing I'd do is focus on stabilizing the ship. Then after stabilizing the ship, then sail with the ship to where you want to go, wherever you want to go. I think long-term projects should be put aside, or should be put to a halt at the moment, and make sure we can. Because if we lose that status, we'll be back to get it back. I don't know how. Let's see what they do. I'm gonna come to the board, back to the panel again. Look at me saying the board, and I'll start with Bobby again if he's still there. Bobby, I want to ask you this question: if there's a chance Pochettino helps us get either Son or Kane or even both, would you say, "Oh, get him"?
Kane, simply because he's a goal scorer, and that's what the club needs. But this is a spent Kane. I don't think he's got much left. There's nothing in his legs. He just drops back and then hangs around and depends on his finishing, like every aged attacker does.
Mm.
Son, well, I don't really care too much for him. I think we've got potential to have much, much better players than that. He is a goal scorer, but even he has had long periods where he's out of form. Is
This year
that a
specifically.
bargaining tool for Pochettino? Not really. The only sort of thing that could buy him some time is if he fills his backroom coaching staff with
Mm.
ex-Chelsea, people like John Terry, um, Ashley Cole,
Cole, yeah.
Lampard probably wouldn't want to come, Joel Edwards, then, the fans may be less hostile. But if he doesn't, thrash Spurs every time he plays them, there will be discontent. If he hits a rocky patch, there will definitely be discontent, and his first Spurs affiliation will come up. You can't take away the traditions of the club and the fan base. This is who we are, and it will be a problem to him. It really will. That's how I see it. So why go there? There are other coaches very much capable. What the club needs is a unifying factor, not a
Sure.
divisive factor.
But he's a proven commodity in the Premier League on
Oh,
two
he
different
is. I mean,
teams.
as I said earlier, I don't deny the pedigree. I just see the
Yeah.
flip side. You know what our fan base is like.
No.
They're fickle
I
enough
there's
as
no
it is.
argument there, Bobby. There's no
Yeah.
argument there. Having said that, though, we don't know if Nagelsmann can succeed here. We don't. It's an unknown. I'm not saying Pochettino is 100% slam dunk. There is no guarantee that he'll come in and be successful with us. I'm not alluding to that at all. I'm just saying, based on his record in coaching in this specific league, he's got a proven track record and he knows it quite well
He
compared
has.
to
He has. This
the
undeniable.
yeah
But
that
there's no certainty. Is Nagelsmann? There's no certain. People say no. Enrique is chalked off. No, he's not. Nobody's chalked off until
sure
they make the appointment.
yeah
So
you
we
never
have to
know, right? Yeah, I'm just
exactly.
saying, but based on, for instance, compared to Luis Enrique Martinez or what's his name, Nagelsmann or whomever, for the most part, that's not coached in this league, he has a proven track record,
He
and that's
does.
an important aspect too, and an important track record with playing youth, especially what he did at Southampton. That's the biggest thing. If he just
Well,
did it
my
with
my
Tottenham,
my
I wouldn't be as convinced. But he was
my
amazing with
advice
Southampton.
my advice would be if they really, really are convinced by him and they want him, surround him with Chelsea people, or he will be like that piece of meat in the lion's cage.
Oh yeah,
The fans will come for his jugular.
it'll be
But if
ugly.
he's surrounded by people like John Terry, maybe even Drogba, definitely Ashley Cole, Joe Led,
Do you think Cole would take that role?
yeah, if you ask him.
Okay, just
Why
curious.
not?
Just curious.
Why
No.
not? He's a coach. He's
It's
a Chelsea
business,
boy.
and he's not going to do it for free.
No,
More
of course.
importantly,
Exactly. You pay him, he'll do it.
Okay.
All these guys, they love the club. Why does
Yes.
Lampard come back at the drop of a hat if he's free?
He bleeds blue. Yeah,
There is a genuine affection for the club.
no doubt.
So, if you want Pochettino, just be sure to surround him with Chelsea people or there will be trouble. That's my biggest concern.
Well, even if he is surrounded, Bobby, I think there's going to be an element of trouble, as you say, but it would minimize it. You're so
It,
correct about
yeah,
that.
it would
yeah,
minimize it a
it
lot.
would dial it down to a significant extent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dilute.
especially if he's got someone
Mm.
like John Terry beside him, the fans will
Yeah.
kind of use that as a buffer and that will protect him. But if he goes there alone and puts his own staff there, man, no, they're not having it at all.
Yeah, I agree.
In a few minutes, Roger, please, if I forget, let's say in about 30 minutes, remind me so we can do the giveaway for the student.
Sure,
Please,
sure.
I do not want to forget. Let me get a few stuff we have in the chat here. Big up. I am all in for Poch. We've been waiting for your comment, and I'm sure Bobby Fairview there in the chat did mention about you. This says, I
Hey,
am
declare.
all in for Poch. Besides the fact that he coached Tottenham, people struggle to argue against what he did with a young Tottenham team. And he was ill-equipped, and he overachieved, like I've said a zillion times. And I know JC will come at me for that. So, Declan,
Sorry,
much love
Coach.
to you. I know it's late, and I'll always welcome you whenever time allows. Go ahead. You wanted to say
Sorry,
something?
Coach, to jump in. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Declared's opinions. He really comes up with some interesting things. And, just like Roger said, Pochettino has certainly got the exposure and the pedigree. It's just that Spurs thing, and we can't
Yeah.
underestimate it. And there is an answer to it. Surround yourself with Chelsea. Go pick up John Terry and put in your coaching staff and Ashley
Chelsea
Cole.
royalty. Yeah.
Exactly. If he does that, he'll be all right. Just all right. But if he comes in with, oh, I want my backroom staff, and man, he's going to be slaughtered. I promise you. I
Yeah.
promise you. Just lose one game and see what the fans will do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that argument at that point makes sense. If the club really wants him, I think they're probably well aware of the backlash that we get, and probably will try to balance or cancel it out. I don't know what language to use to perfectly explain my opinion here. They try to balance it out by appointing former players, well respected, because the player in question will count too. Who is the player? I don't see if they bring in Ivanovic. I don't think it makes any difference. But the likes of Terry will make people go, all right, well, I can work with this, something like that. But let's see what happens. Bobby the greatest. You got that. Bobby the GOAT from King. So let's see. Saying no to decline. Any manager needs a clean break and a preseason, and by the players he needs for his style of play. We need to get rid of 10 players. There's something I want us to look at from Bobby Fairview, talking about how the rumors out there saying we're going to sell nearly every player. But I think that's nonsense.
No.
There's no that possibility for us to sell nearly every
That's
player.
PYS. So that tells you everything.
I think it's absolute nonsense, really. Poch did well, but he had a long time to do so. And there wasn't much pressure, much pressure and expectation. And that's Daniel Levy's way of accepting the fact that they don't spend much. And he knows Poch was the man who's able to, how do I phrase it, take him to the level, to the heights he took him to, even though he was ill-equipped. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Even more so, Coach, at Southampton. Less pressure, less expectations. Listen, as I've said before, I think he was more impressive at Southampton than he was at Tottenham. And when you consider what he did, and when you consider how often the amount of players was sold from Southampton each year, it was astronomical. And yet he still progressed and succeeded. Did an outstanding job there, better than Southampton, in my opinion.
Yeah. And if you're watching, if you haven't, please make sure you're dropping the likes on the stream. We have 45 likes now. Let's get it to 50 and shoot for 100 as soon as possible. We're still going to talk about the two managers, and we will be following this story, this development religiously. If we continue, if it means talking about it every day, because it looks like it's moving at a pace that we need to pay attention attentively to not miss anything. Get a proven manager like Luis Enrique, but we're not sure what's going to happen. Derek Finn, always nice to see you. Poch can now help Chelsea. Wow, that's some argument right there. Enrique has only managed a prime Barca and failed at Roma and Spain. I think Nagelsmann and Poch is better for us. Which one came first? I don't remember. Was it Roma before Barca? I don't remember. I have to make sure I understand which club he coached first. If we get Pochettino, if he loses one game, I am jumping on him. Okay. God of Frogs, always nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Poch cannot be any worse than the clueless and hopeless losers that is Lampard and Potter. Not my preferred choice, but we are down so bad right now. Wow. That is some argument right now. And the standard has been lowered by fans. Okay. I have a feeling, and big up Zalani, more importantly, always nice to see you. So I'm going to skip quite a lot there. If I haven't read your comment, I'll try to get yours. Rahmani, I've gotten one of your comments. And Gabriel A, I haven't seen you in a while. Please do let me know that you're doing well. I sincerely do appreciate you finding time to join the show. One thing Roger said a few days ago, unlike Benitez, he never trusts Chelsea.
Yep.
That's another thing. I think the fans, majority of the fans that didn't like Benitez then was due to a lot of stuff. He said some stuff about Chelsea during his time at Liverpool.
That was a
but
feisty
again,
relationship and a feisty rivalry for sure between
but then
Mourinho
again,
and him.
Yeah, go ahead. But then again, I think Poch's case is different. He coached a rival.
Yeah.
And a rival of a club.
Liverpool was a rival also, just not geographically and not to the extent that, listen, Benitez won the Champions League with Liverpool, and they were, all due respect to Spurs, they're a much higher level than Spurs. So I think it was intensified even more so by their success, even though they didn't win the Premier League, but they were always up there, and just a great team, obviously.
Yeah, quite a lot to catch up with. Let me see if I can knock them out, but it looks like I'm going to have to scroll past a few. None of these currently available coaches are for us, in my opinion. Let me see. I've read, if we hire Poch, I'm done with Chelsea. Okay, I heard you say that. You guys will rather take Poch, who want nothing over Enrique standards. That sometimes the owners leave you no choice. If in fact they've ruled out going for Enrique, and we're all entitled to say this is the manager I want over the others. That doesn't mean that's what happens, if that makes sense. Enrique proved he was capable of dropping status quo with the Spain squad. He had a decent Euro and World Cup. Yep, it's as simple as that. They were a very young side during the World Cup, and they did well. The problem is Spain lacked the talent it used to have. I think a lot of people didn't see that.
Can I just say something? In the previous European Championship, where England lost to Italy, I saw the Italy-Spain game. I don't know whether anyone watched it, but Spain was by far the best team in the Euros, by far. They just lack a number 9. So quite eerily similar to Chelsea currently. They absolutely dominated Italy. You know, had England played Spain in the final, they would have wiped the floor with us. Spain was the best team by a long shot. So you have to give him kudos.
No, he did well with a very, very young side.
They just lacked a clinical finisher, that's all.
And Shahab reminded things on Nagelsmann is coming to Chelsea. And Vivel, nice to see you. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Nice background. Look at him making fun that my green screen doesn't work. he's saying nice background. It only works on Chrome. It doesn't work on Firefox. And that's the Chrome browser. I don't know why it's been buggy of late. I'm not sure why. But that's by the way.
Delete it and then reinstall it, Coach.
I think I'll give that a shot. I'll give that a shot to see if that works. Do a poll about that, Coach. In a bit, I would do that. Constantine Dante, thank you so much. Says, why is the new owners beaten about the Bush was a good manager? Brought his CV, Luis Enrique. To me, I don't know what to make of that situation. I would still say no. Okay, thank you. Let me see. Yep, you've seen Declare comment there yourself. Let's see what else Declare JC has to say about me. Spain should have done better. Okay, not the top striker, but expected more from Enrique. Okay, Coach, are you streaming from? Are you streaming from Dreamland today? Poch and Kante and Kane together at CFC. You can. No, I'm just saying. I just asked a rhetorical question. Should I say rhetorical or maybe hypothetical? The question was that those that say that they don't want him at the club. If he guarantees he's able to get us Kane and Son, maybe. I know there's no possibility for that to happen. I just wanted to get the point across. That's an exception. That Chelsea fans, I'm sure. If you do a poll, I'm not sure how to construct that poll now. I ask the question: would you take Poch if Kane would join Chelsea? If Kane and Son would join Chelsea because of him? Believe me, I think majority would say yes. It's that's the point I wanted to get across. You can throw out as many candidates as you like, but I liked your strategy of saying it. It's your opinion as better. I am worried. Yeah, it's opinions. Nothing again. We're not sure even if the club, if Chelsea are truly looking at him. We're just basing our debate on what we're seeing and what's out there in the media, if that makes sense. Vivell says, our aim is to be the next RB Leipzig. Yep, a profitable club model. There you go. Something I can relate to why they are obsessed with the Red Bull model. It's profitable. It's a profitable club model and not a winning club model. Maybe win couple in a decade. Wow, that's concerning. I think this is better put. This is very, very well put. That is the obsession with the Red Bull model, is to also have satellite clubs where younger players can go and develop. I'm concerned, really, it may well be about profit, but at the same time, I'm still going to say something I've always said before. I think they still want to win, because if you don't win, you're not going to attract big name sponsors. But this comment there, I think, I should say, counts as the delicious comment of the day, in the fact that it is factual, objective, and it makes a lot of sense, given the fact it's a profit-focused model. Hopefully that's not the case, because it will be difficult for us to get to where fans expect us to be. Any manager from Enrique, Nagelsmann, Poch are million times better than Potter. Well, not saying I want Poch, but you can understand why they would shortlist him in view of his work at Spurs. Yep, small budget and a lot of money. It becomes even more concerning. How are you, Coach? How's your head? I've been, I think, even I was better before I traveled to Texas, and even better when I came back. A lot of rest. But in a few days, I'll go for a follow-up, but I don't think that will be as bad as it's been. But I still feel some pain in my jaw. So, but thank you for asking. Giveaway. Wow, yeah, we're doing a giveaway for students today. I hope I don't forget. Roger, please don't forget the timing. Maybe that's Kim's way of reminding me. Let's see what else. So I'll come back to the panelists to have you speak. Roger, I don't know if you've spoken about with regards to if it's guaranteed to get that what's his name, Kane joins us, or even Son, or both of them, that the fans will say, okay, let him come. Don't you think a lot of fans will say, yeah, I'll take that. I'll make an exception, maybe.
Yes, I don't see that transpiring. No, I don't think.
No, I know it's not possible, but just to say, it's just my way of proving that that's an exception.
I don't think that is relevant, really, because Tottenham will never sell Kane to us. It just won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably want to stay in the Premier League to surpass the all-time goal-scoring record. But I think he'll go to United, probably, or Newcastle, possibly, before Chelsea. The fan base, I think, will be very hard to accept Kane, to be honest with you. I just don't see it transpiring ever.
Yeah, okay, let's see what else we have here. Lampard has invisible badges. Remove as a mod. Remove who as a mod?
Don't know.
I don't think the coolest chess was. Who did that? But I have to find out if that's really, because I'm sure. Here's the thing: if you're watching, if that's really you, we will talk behind the scenes, and I can easily add you back. The truth is, some people have what is called manager mods. Maybe somebody that's a manager mod removed you as a mod, and I'm not sure that has happened. I think I would have gotten a notice, but I have to be cautious too. Is that really Tabejo? You know, you're my bro. You know, I wouldn't do that myself if that's you. But let me know behind the scenes or via Twitter inbox that that's you. But if that's you, big up to you. Much respect. I'll hand it that. Let's see. Please tell the owners. Yeah, I'll try and reach out to them. Coach, it's about what the fans want. We will not accept this. Roger, can I ask you this before I go back to Bobby? Is it really about what the fans want?
I want to know. Not really. To a certain extent, Bobby will say probably more so than myself. But one thing I think, even though the owners have the final say, I should imagine that they're impervious to our culture or to our heritage and what we feel. I think it's the executives the Vavels, the Winstanleys, etc. I think they're the decision-making entities, and I don't think they will take that into serious consideration to the point where it will negate hiring someone, if that makes sense. So I don't think it will come into the equation in their thought process. I really don't. I think they may heed it to a certain extent, but I don't think it will be anything that will discriminate from their decision-making process. I really do not. I think they will only hire someone based on their ability, their track record, how they impress and impart their philosophy to the board or to the executives. And I think that's the most important criteria with which they're searching. I think that is a second or third tier consideration, in my opinion.
Okay, Bobby, you want to speak on that, or should we go ahead to speaking to talking about his pedigree, really, whether he's a fit, just looking beyond the culture thing and deciding, because if they want to hire him, they're going to hire him. If they believe he's going to get the job done, I think they will have the belief that once things start stabilizing and they see and the fans start seeing that he's capable of, he's a good fit for the job, and the team start doing well, that they will forgive all. I want to say this. Let me start with you, Bobby. Let's look beyond. If you want to talk about, I think you've spoken about that. Let's just go straight to talking about his pedigree, whether he'd be a good fit if they end up hiring him.
Without wanting to detract the program, I'm wondering if so much attention on this guy is really worth it. If his pedigree, as has been said, speaks for himself, he does have good pedigree, and he probably makes about slightly more sense than Potter does, in that he has got more experience at top level, and he did perform with Southampton, although the key word with Southampton was no pressure. He did perform with Spurs, and perhaps another key word there is lesser pressure. And PSG, I don't think he did that well, considering how weak the league is, because there he did have pressure and he had a load of star players to deal with, which he couldn't handle. But having said that, under any other circumstances, it wouldn't be an appointment that people would be too hostile to. But you cannot underestimate tradition. I promise you, unless this guy is surrounded by core Chelsea individuals, the Chelsea fan base, and I'm not talking about all these people abroad and so all these people from different countries. I'm talking about the Chelsea fan base, the people that go to the games.
Yep.
If you like to call them proper Chelsea, this guy is not going to be welcome, I promise you, unless he is surrounded by Chelsea people.
And hit the ground running.
We don't forget, when Benitez came, it was more than just, he came from Liverpool and, he won a Champions League to our detriment with the ghost goal in the semi-final, which our fans did not forget. He said a few disparaging things against the club, which the fans will not forget. I can assure you, Pochettino, something he said will be dug up and it will rile the fan base. I just think, why go there? And if people think that the ownership don't listen to the fans, I think they're very sensitive to what the fans feel. They've got their finger to the pulse, and they don't make decisions to override the fan base unless they're 100% convinced it's the right thing to do. Now, this could be a good thing, I don't know. But I just say, and I keep saying it, and I can't underline it enough, if they dare go down that road, they must surround him with Chelsea people, or it will be futile. It will be another chaotic season waiting to happen.
I don't think it. I was alluding to the fact the executives are making the decision-making process, because they're going to choose the next manager they're going to decide, and recommend to the board, this is who we believe we should hire based on A, B, C, and D, etc. And it's up to the board to accept or decline their recommendation. And I was alluding to not the owners ignoring, I was referring to the executives not taking it into great, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, Roger, we've got
Yeah.
Winston Lee, who understands the Premier League and the football culture. We've got Lawrence Stewart, who equally does the same, although he went to Monaco. Vival and the Red Bull model. Look, people are making unnecessary noise about that. Vival is the global director. He's bound to say that. He's looking for a global blueprint. He's not saying copy Red Bull. He knows we are an entirely different kettle of fish. But the blueprint could be a model with which we could start to model ourselves. That's what he's saying. It's just our
take the best out of that model. Learn just from the best thing that has worked for them.
Exactly.
There's a chance that's the case. That's how I believe that. But go ahead.
Exactly. It's just our detractors, as usual, trying to make it worse than it actually is. But having said that, these three guys, I think there's a fourth one who I always forget his name, but they understand football, especially the ones that are English-based. Whether you're from Brighton or whatever, you will know Chelsea's culture to some extent. You will know the venomous dislike between Chelsea and Spurs. I mean, it even transcended to the boardroom, as you quite rightly reminded us, that what's their chairman? Oh gosh, what's his name? Spurs chairman. Levy. Levy would have rather jumped off of London Bridge than let Modric join Chelsea. That's how deep this thing goes. So to go and appoint a Spurs manager to Chelsea, you've got to be careful. You've got to be sensitive. The fan base is already riled, upset, throwing words, they're hurt, they're unsteady. Don't bring in a destabilizing force. The club needs a unifying force, if somebody that the fans can get behind. However, if the three of them, who I am putting my faith in, are convinced that he's the right man, just like if they're convinced that Nagelsmann is the right person, I will acknowledge it. But my only advice would be surround him with Chelsea people. If not, he will be like a lamb to the slaughter. You guys, you don't underestimate Chelsea fans. That fan base is strong. That is the fan base that actually were the people that toppled the European Super League. When Chelsea fans came out, the tone changed. Don't underestimate that fan base. So, why wind them up? What is wrong with you? Are you coming to cause problems for yourself by bringing Spurs to Chelsea? Are you insane? After you brought Brighton to Chelsea, look what happened there. So they need to be very, very careful, if at all they're even going that way.
All right, thank you so much for that. Here's what I'm going to do, guys. Roger, I think it's about time we do fulfill that premise, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if you're watching, Vivel says Poch is the perfect yes man. You know that, right? I don't know that. I want you to elaborate on why you think that's the case. I want to learn. I'm honest about that. Here's the thing. If you're watching, here's what you're going to do to participate. Let me think. All right, I'm going to see this. One of the reasons why we decided to start the membership, that is, if you pay $2.99 to become a member, is to help. That is what I really wholeheartedly would want to be doing for students monthly. That's one of the main reasons why I decided to start the the membership thing, $2.99 a month. And we didn't even make up to $20 since it started. We haven't made up to $20, so let's say at least $40. But out of the heart, at my heart, truthfully, today I want to do the winner gets $100. But you must prove that you're a student. Are you paying attention? The winner gets, if you're selected as the winner, you get $100, but you must prove that you're a student. And we have ways to find out whether you're truly a student or not. If you're not a student, you're not getting it. Here's the thing, what you need to say, hashtag stay in school. Put it in the chat. We have one entry already. That person really wants it. Who did that so quickly?
That's funny.
I hope you win it, because it really shows you want it. And the last time we did something that you had to be a student, I think it was Ken Boy, and he got it the same day because I think he had PayPal. No, he didn't have PayPal. He thought he had one, he didn't have one, but he used someone else's PayPal account to get it. He got it the same day. So if you can prove you're a student, and if I'm able to verify it as soon as the show ends, in a few hours you get it. So I'm waiting. How many entries do we have? Type hashtag stay in school. Each word starts with a capital letter. Did I misspell anything? I'm sure I didn't misspell anything. So I'll keep reading your comments while I wait for the entries. And please stop talking about everything else. Let's the students get the chance to enter in the giveaway selection process. And good luck to all of you. Poch, yeah, I'm waiting for your explanation as to why you think that's the case. Let's see. But if we need a yes man, hire Jim Carrey. I'm guessing you're talking about the actor. I actually like him. If I'm mixing things up, you let me know. Let's see what else we have here. We have I'm good. Okay, let's see what else we have here. He took Tottenham without much input or signings. He just mold whatever is shoved onto him, but also was able to take them. You could say he was able to overachieve with them. That's my main point there, if that makes sense. So I'm still waiting for your entries. In a few minutes, I'll move beyond waiting for your entries, and I'll go ahead and do the draw. The same Pochettino lost a 7-2 against Bayern. Okay, let's see. Barry is set to join Bayern. Pochettino is a good coach, but my fear is with our fans. They might be toxic if things don't do well. Also, blame our board. Why we hired a former sports manager. That's a solid argument. The culture thing that we all talked about. Coach, why are you trying to sell this fraud Pochettino to us? We don't want him. Have you recently joined Rogers Law from or something? I'm just trying to be as objective as possible. And that's who I am, and that's how I operate. So do we have just 2 entries right now? 2 students. Wow. Okay, I'm going to type the example there. What you need to have to type to participate in the draw. It is hashtag stay in school. There you go. I'm going to type it there in a few minutes. No matter how the numbers we have there. Okay, we have up to 5 now. Maybe it was just a bit slow. I hope I don't win it. If I win it, I'm taking it. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to take it. We move on from that one. So let's see anybody here that I haven't read their comments. And this is Vivel saying, I would rather see Man City over Real lifting it. Not gonna lie, that's the way I feel too. I don't want Courtois to win Champions League. Has he won? He has won one already. I don't want him to win a second since he left Chelsea. Honestly, it's just my personal opinion. Yep, you and I the same on that one. Chelsea is not a place to develop young players or managers. They have to win. I'm guessing that your phone helped you spell that one. If they choose Pochettino, they will face fans protests from day one. In terms of achievement, he is a loser. Wow, that is some argument right there. Let's see what else we have here. What do we have? Inter Milan need to win it. They need all that Champions League money so they can afford Lukaku. They're not going to pay for Lukaku. The last match, did they even get a chance at all? I don't remember because I didn't watch that particular game. Not sure, so to speak, because I didn't watch that game. What else do we have here? Kachila, at some point, can we address the reporting on FFP? What is this talk about every player for sale being for sale? Is that because we don't have UEFA Champions League revenue? I'm not sure. Let me highlight it so we'll get back to it. I think we should address that. Probably we may not get the chance to address that today because we still have to talk about 2 more managers. So we have 6 entries. Let me go back and come back and let's see if he updates. How many entries? 5 right now. Why did he go down to 5? Okay, let's see what we have. Let's see. Okay. Bali does not have the political capital with the fans at this point to make a Poch appointment. Bobby is right. He cannot do it. Wow. Some argument. Chelsea and Bayern Munich have come to a compensation agreement on close to 1 million for Anthony Barry. At least we're getting something from that one. And who says thank you for the Indonesian IVR 10,000 give what's it called? 10,000 super chat. I appreciate that. No matter how small it is still, I know it comes from your heart. So I sincerely do appreciate that. Thank you so much and welcome to the channel. Let's see what we have here. Lampard, Terry, Cole, throw Poch under the bus at first a chance they get. Okay. Let's see what else we have. Oh, Kevin says, with this performance, do you think we can finish top 4 next season? I don't know. With this sort of performance, we're not going to get anything closer to top 4. But yeah, let's see what happens. What else do we have here? How can I participate in the giveaway? You see what I should look at it in the screen. Yep. Hashtag stay in school. Each word in that sentence, mashed up sentence starts with a capital letter. If you're paying attention to that, it's easy to predict who Bali is going to choose. Just think of the most logical, practical, perfect fit for the team and club, and he will be the exact opposite of that. Some argument. I've always told you before, you sound like you're, what do I say again? You sound like you're a lawyer the way you present your argument. TC, always nice to see you. I love you so much. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. I appreciate you finding time to participate. It's been a while, but at least you're a student and you need the giveaway today, so you remember us. But I haven't forgotten about you. I know you're busy. We're all busy. The show is not an obligation, so whenever time allows, whoever wants to join, you're always welcome. Let's see. Always nice to see you. Like I said, what else do I have to get here before? I'm going to do the draw in a bit. We have 7 entries, but I'll go back and come back in and see if it has added any more. Let's see. The best achievement from a minimal budget, a few key signings, win the Champions League in 1.5 season. Not Poch. It's Jose Mourinho at Porto. If you want a manager for such credentials, I'll go for the special one. Okay, I have my argument with regards to why I don't want him. We need the Saudi Arabian coach. Who said, what's his name? I'm not sure who you're referencing. Vivel, why you okay? Just having a conversation there. Poch will not be given time. Declared. I am sympathetic to the idea, but the politics will kill. We'll kill it in the crib. Okay, before it even starts, I guess that's what that means. And I want to say hello to anybody that I haven't said hello to before today. DJ, big up to you. Big up Kachila. Big up to you too. And here, DJ says, okay, what people are saying, I'm sorry, Enrique needs money to build the squad. Please remember, guys, Pep had money at Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City. And yes, he spent quite a lot at City. Potter got plenty of time, too much time, actually, you could argue. And JC says Poch can be a perfect punchback for fans, which deflects the target from Bali. So you think that's one of the main reasons why it's going to happen. 7 entries. I'm going to go back and come back in, and I'll scroll to the very bottom. Then I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. This says the embarrassing reporting right now about Bali taking Mudrik's entourage into the changing room while the team was preparing for a game. To me, like I'm going to say what I said before. It doesn't really mean anything to me, and I'm being honest. It doesn't mean anything to me. Roger, let me get your thoughts on that reporting. How do you see it? Does that mean anything to you?
Which one is this? Where
he
you
took that. Listen, that what Bali did was that they said he took Mihailo Modric, that was before the game against Crystal Palace, and those that came with him. I'm assuming his agent and whoever that arrived from Ukraine or with him, or that arrived at the club with him into the dressing room. What do you make of it? Do you read anything into it, or to you it's nothing? You don't see it as anything?
No, I don't know. I think it's just much to do about nothing. I really do. Listen, the club needs to be run professionally. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. Listen, the locker room is supposed to be sacrosanct, and I get that. It's supposed to be, especially in football in Europe, more so than in America. But reports of this happening, that happening. I just think it's clickbait for the most part. I don't see much in it at all. I think it's just the small amount of minutia that people just want to report on stuff. And unless something comes from that.
And why is it coming out now?
Exactly. It's to me, I don't pay attention.
I'll tell you what did come from that.
What?
We won the flaming game. That's what came from that. I mean, it's just silly.
We did win that particular game, right? Wasn't that the day? Was that the day we played my favorite formation? No, it wasn't. But go ahead. Yeah. So, Bobby, what do you make of that nonsense? Really, to me, it's absolute nonsense. I wouldn't read too much into it.
It is nonsense, and it's symptomatic of the climate that exists around Chelsea. Once certain people sense there's a problem, they throw anything and everything to create shade against the club. It is an agenda, because this is a meaningless, worthless, pointless thing to raise right now, especially in a game that we actually won in a season when we weren't winning too many games. It's ridiculous. All sorts of things happen in and around changing rooms. That's football. I remember a time when Jose Mourinho was banished from the sideline with a red card, and there was all these rumors of him sneaking into the changing room in a laundry basket. I mean, things happen in changing rooms. And this is just so meaningless. It's pathetic. It really is.
Yeah, that's how I see it too. Especially why is it coming out now? It's just like I said, like you just said. I think because you could say we're in crisis, and those content creators or Twitter journalists sense that anything they put out with regards to what's going on at Chelsea, even if they say that what's his name, that one of the players that he's used to going into the toilet, and whenever he's done with his business, forgets to do the due diligence of flushing it. Then people will go, whoa, why is he behaving like that? I think that's just the situation we'll find ourselves in. But that's, by the way, let's see what else we have here. But thank you for bringing that up. We've knocked that one out. And in a bit, I'm going to do the draw. Let's see what else we have here. Anything else? If we had an actual goal scorer up front, would we be in this bad? Would we be this bad in the league? I would say no, because on occasions we've played well, but not put away chances, especially on the ground, Potter, if that makes sense. Let's see what else we have here. Stay in school. Okay, the coolest chance. Let's see. Nitpicking any news just to be upset and miserable. Wow. Go ahead, Bobby. You wanted to say something?
I just want to add something to this goal scoring issue. We have to be careful not to think in unitary terms. We think like we thought with Enzo, we've got Enzo now, the midfield is sorted. Enzo does need another strong physical midfielder beside him. And Chelsea need more than a goal-scoring striker. A goal-scoring striker is a massive help to our lack of goals, but goals really need to come from all over the pitch. That's where the problem is. We're not scoring at all. And until we get a manager in that can help resolve that problem, a goal-scoring striker would not really do that much for the team. I mean,
Does
look
that
at
sound
the
familiar, Coach?
It sounds very well. We've talked about that 1,000 times, and
I
it's good
mentioned
that Bobby. It's good that Bobby brings it up. But at least
listen,
go ahead.
The centre backs need to score on headers, in corners, etc. The midfield
Exactly.
needs to be clinical. You can't just blame it on a number 9 or a number 10. It
Yeah.
has to be, with the exception of a goalkeeper.
That's how you win
Roger.
trophies.
Roger,
Yes.
do you remember when
Sometimes
we
the
would have a corner?
goalkeepers too, because
Do
you
you
could say,
remember when
okay, go
we
ahead,
would
Bobby.
have a corner or a set piece, and Zuma will be coming forward, and you're almost certain he's going to get his head on something and he's going to score,
Exactly.
or
Cahill,
Rudiger.
Ivanovic,
Yeah,
Louise,
we're not
Rudiger,
getting those goals. Not to mention
Marco
our midfielders
Alonso.
not scoring.
Marco
Alonso, another
Alonso.
one. He
Yeah, he
wasn't
left.
scoring.
Yeah, exactly. And now we do have that with Reece James. And you're right, coach. Even goalkeepers can come in on the corner and
Yeah,
for the last minute.
wasn't Alisson pivotal to my again? How many points did Liverpool win the league?
Yeah, they did it.
And wasn't that the same season where he scored one of the winning goals or equalizing goals? Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's like Ivanovic is so clinical in the air. Gary Cahill, Kurt Zuma. Obviously John Terry, goes without saying. These people aerially, and not just with their head, but also with their feet.
Not to mention the contribution from midfield, and this is the one reason why I may not feel too bad if Kovacic goes, because his finishing is absolutely dreadful. It's unforgivable, and we don't need that.
It's like he's never seen a football before in his life. Listen, the goals he does score are worldies, but they're so few and far between. I like him a lot, but you're right. The fact that he doesn't even test the keeper is what gets me. And yet he's so technical. And that's what puts people like Lampard, by comparison, on a whole different pedestal.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
and yet again, Roger, another thing, and this is where, a lot of the clear out may target. Our offensive midfielders are bad. Mount doesn't score anywhere near enough. He misses too many chances.
Yeah.
What João Felix is doing right now isn't putting him in good stead.
Hey, he hits the post, mate. Don't put it.
So that
the
is
post,
going
the post and the crossbar. That's the target.
The Woodward. Listen,
and Sterling. Sterling. All these people that are sure bank misses.
Yeah.
We don't need that anymore, and that's where they
We've hit the post this season 13 times without scoring. 13 times. That's substantial.
All right.
People like Carney, people like Connor, Mason Mount, they need, all these people like Broja. What's Broja? I mean, I think Broja has assuming he recovers, fully, hopefully, I have faith in those aforementioned. Pulisic, I don't. Sterling, I don't.
All right, quickly, let me catch up with the chat, please, if you don't mind, Roger. And we do the draw, and then there's something else I want to do today. Again, nitpicking at any news just to be upset. I see that one. Stay in school. Yes, that's exactly what you need to type. And I hope your school is going, because the last time you won a giveaway here, you told me specifically you were a student and how that giveaway, I think it was $50. How far you would go, what you were able, that you really needed for your school, and that made me happy. But thank you so much for joining today. They were preparing for the game. What you mean, clickbait? Here's the thing. What makes it nonsense in the sense? Why is it coming out? Who leaked it? Even though I wouldn't make anything serious out of it, and if I were the coach, and I believe Bali is smart enough to know that the players were preparing for the game. If that makes sense. But if even if that's the case, why is it coming out now? We shouldn't even be talking about it. It has happened since. Why is it coming out just now? Where do the excuses stop? This is where the results. Like I said, my question is, why is it coming out now? So much hate for the Chelsea. People say Bali is trying to make profit on a club, cannot sell for. Here's the thing. He's one of the owners. They have to make profits. This is not Roman Abramovich, first of all. But secondly, I get it. But with regards to what you have on the screen there, even though there has to be 10 years before they withdraw any profit, but now is the time to start planning for a huge profit. So that is me trying to be all objective in terms of people coming up with the argument, but he's not supposed to take any profit until after 10 years. But now is the time you start building up, laying the foundation for a big profit in 10 years. But more importantly, I don't think we have every right to question why they're trying to make profit. It's their business. That's another way to look at it. Cannot read into everything you see. I couldn't say that even any better if I'm being honest here. Let's see what else we have here. Chelsea will need players that fit a role if we ever get a system. You don't always have to break the bank. Let's see what we have. We know we are crap, so why try and find more reasons to dislike the owners? I don't think. Look, they've made a mistake. I got the feeling that Felix and Stalin might believe in citing no year for Champions League football. In the case of Stalin, if we want to keep him, he has no option than to stay. But there's a sense the club would want to sell him to because he's not been the most productive. In the case of Felix, there will be questions with regards whether signing him will work. Plus, we're in a very, you can say, we're in a financial situation where I don't see us spending that much money in the summer. Plus, I don't think he's a priority signing, if you ask me. That's how I see it. Vivel, Felix leaving Chelsea will not splash 80 million on him. I've started arguing that even before, maybe, let me say, before he joined us alone. But that's, of course, me exaggerating. You get what I mean by that, which means I've been arguing that for a long time now. So I'm going to come back in. Good luck to everyone that has entered their name there. If you don't win today, you get a chance to win next month. And everything comes down to how much I'm able to afford because I'm not trusting the membership to help me get enough as much as I would want to be doing for the students. So we go. Good luck to all of you in the chat. Let's see who gets it today. If I win it, I'll just redo it. And lo and behold, Roger, did you see that?
No way. No way.
And it happened. Look, the reason it happened was because I had to put my name there to show people what to type.
Yeah. That's funny.
Highlight it on the screen. But I think this is the first time it's happened to me winning it. But let's see. And remember, you have to prove that you're a student before you get it.
No way. Again?
I'm going to do it again. Or maybe I'll delete my own message if that happens again.
That's bloody hysterical.
Yeah, I'm using StreamYard software to do this.
I know.
Then if it happens a third time, then there's a problem with that software.
No, you need to go out and buy a lottery ticket, mate.
Okay, this time the coolest shells. The second one was still Chelsea perspective. Did I get it wrong?
No, you were correct first and second time. It was you.
So the third time, the coolest chess. Here's the thing. I'm not going to give it to the coolest chess. I have a way to settle him. I want someone else to win it. Tobago, I'm not giving this to you. No.
Ouch.
I have my reasons why I'm saying that. I want someone else to win it. Tobago, are you a student? Really? You let me know. Or maybe you didn't hear that. Tobago, I'm waiting for you. If you're still there, I think he's not a student. And he agrees. You see, he agrees I should just do it again for someone else to win it. Yeah, so let me do it again for someone else to win it. Because I suspect that maybe he didn't. Yeah, thank you. He agrees. He's my bro and friend, so he understands. I want someone else to win it. So, Keshawn, are you a student? Let us know. If you can prove you're a student, I'll go ahead. Then we're over with the giveaway for today, for the month. Keshawn, I'm waiting for your response. I'll wait. If Keshawn isn't a student, then I'll redo it. But if he's a student, congratulations to him. The New York guy is our winner for the month of April. So let's go ahead. Roger, were you speaking about any topic before I went on to do that?
No, we were talking about scoring from all over the pitch. And it's Bobby's right. And we talk about this often. For us to succeed, we have to be more clinical. And we can't just rely on one person. It has to be a collective. And Bobby's correct. It's, all the people that are saying, we need a number 9, especially on TV. We spent 600 million. What are they doing not spending a number 9? Well, guess what? That's true to a certain extent, even though we bought Fofana. But it's the whole collective. We're not scoring as a collective, and that's the issue. No one is. And he's right. I really like Kova a lot. But if we do lose him, which I don't want us to because we need depth, but his lack of even testing the keeper, let alone scoring, is a negative, shall we say. So I get where Bobby's coming from.
Vivel Felix definitely living. Yep, I've read that one. And they say, Kishan, I'm waiting for you. Let me know if you're a student or not. I will appreciate your honesty. I trust whatever you tell me. He takes online classes. You're a student. Doesn't that what do you think, Roger? Wouldn't that count?
Who is this for? Online classes.
He says he takes online classes. Wouldn't that count?
I think he should go to a full-time student.
So let's see if he was kidding about here. If he's a student, to a full-time student. Keshan, are you a full-time student? Maybe that makes sense because the purpose is to help full-time students who doesn't maybe work 9 to 5 and earn enough to support them. But let's see what Keshan says. Again, if he feels like maybe someone else needs it better than more than him, we'll hear from him. Felix can go. Stalin hopefully leaves. Let's see what else we have here. Good news, DJ. Let's see. We need wingers who can finish as well. I don't think we're signing any more wingers. I'm told Manchester United want Felix. They want him. Maybe he works for them. Aurora Ogbo, always nice to see you. He says, greetings, guys. With regards to goal scoring, when you have a goal scoring center forward, that actually scores, it takes out the pressure for the others, which I'm sure will translate into more goals for others. Yeah, which means you can say they're not really. How do I say this for you to get my point? You can say it reduces the pressure. The goals come from everywhere, but maybe let me just leave it at that and not to confuse anybody while trying to explain. Coach is a winner on multiple occasions, but I want to hear from you, Keshan. Let me know. You can spin it again. Thank you so much for your honesty. Maybe somebody else that needs it the most will win it. I appreciate that love, brother. Much respect to you. He said I'm not full-time. No, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's full-time student go for it. Because I could say I'm a student too. I'm a doctoral student, and winning it could do something for me, but no. Let someone else that needs it the most win it. Nathaniel Oposio, congratulations to you. If you're a student, hit me up via Twitter and prove you're a student and you get $100. Congratulations to you. And I believe you heard clearly when I said you have to be a student before you participate. So, Roger, go ahead with what you were saying.
No, I was just commenting on what Bobby had stated, sir. So, I don't know. Listen, we need, regardless of who it is, listen, I would have a problem with Poch being a coach from the aspect of, obviously, his affiliation with Spurs. But other than that, I have no problem with him coaching us if we can assume he's successful, which I think he can be, but how much time will he be given? You can also argue that it's an even more, shall we say, the pressure mounts up even more than compared to Spurs, or PSG. So it's I'd say it's the pressure is far less, I think, working for Spurs, because I think Dan Levy didn't put that much pressure. He had a greater understanding and a limited budget. I think here, obviously, we were told that this was a long-term project, and I was led to believe from their messages that regardless of Chelsea and our reputation, that Potter would stay for at least, assuming that we're not getting relegated or losing 5-0 every week, that he would be the long-term project, and that didn't transpire. This leads me to believe that they need someone hitting the ground running. I really believe that. I don't think And I'm confused with how they dismissed Potter. So therefore, I'm not sure the technical directors and the owners. I think they're under pressure, and I think they're going to have to revert back to, shall we say, a slightly more subdued version of the previous administration, where they're not going to give that much time. I really believe that now.
Yeah, thank you so much. Again, Natalia Osio, find a way to reach me out if you're on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter account, you have to create one now. Reach out to me. Show me your student ID, the name of your school, so that we can confirm. And in a few hours, if possible, if we're able to reach your school, then you can get it. Let's see if there's some ID you provide. I'll be able to tell whether you quickly put something together to pretend you're a student, and then we'll take it from there. The killer selves, you're asking the question, the source of that news. You spin me right now. What's his name? The Florida-based U.S. singer.
Coach, can I add something to what?
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Sorry, I'm about to be on the move, so I might even cut out soon. Roger was talking to a long-term project, and him being surprised about Potter. Look, we listen. Chelsea Football Club, as with clubs, Real Madrid, you name it, even Man United, really, they are not clubs that you can come to and languish in mid-table or struggle against relegation and be sustained in your position. The reason being is that when you are in such a high finance club and a club with such status, you can't have what is known as a long-term project is somebody who at least does what Arsene Wenger did at Arsenal, and that is he was getting them into the Champions League, getting the odd FA Cup here and there, but not the kind of sorry.
4, yeah.
Yeah, and not the kind of major success that they were thirsting on, but it was just sustained. They were and so on and so forth. I believe that is what Chelsea.
Hello?
We lost Bobby, unfortunately. If we losing him in terms of his audio, I wouldn't say that sounded like I was saying something that's God forbid. Let's see what we have here.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? Go ahead. You're back now. Go ahead,
okay,
Bobby.
I drove through a blind spot. I said if Potter had maintained a top 4 position while he's settling in and building the squad, he would still be in a job today. That's what Chelsea's looking for. Then Chelsea's not looking for somebody that's going to be completely mediocre and then we're going to sit around waiting for you. We can't do that. You don't do that with a 600 plus and counting £1 million investment. Nobody does that.
But Bobby, right now, this new manager that comes in, this £603 million that they've spent in the last transfer window, or the last 2, I should say, the vast majority are based on potential. They're very young. They're between 18 and 22. They're really young. So
yes, they're young, but you still have to have what I call sustainable achievements. Is yes, staying in the Champions League regenerates enough funds for the club to remain in the position they want to be. Top 4 it should not even be a question for a club like Chelsea. And the fact that we are outside of the top 4 with all the expenses that we still have to do. Remember, we still have to do a stadium. And that's going to be a huge financial cost.
It's about £1 billion.
Yeah, Wenger was very clever. When Arsenal were building their stadium, he made sure that at least they kept getting Champions League football, which helped his position. Potter didn't do that, and I think the next manager is going to have to do that.
Right. So is it? So that's my point. No. Right now. So Coach A comes in next year, this summer, and what happens if he's not in the top 4? What happens if he's top 6 or 7? Is that sufficient?
It's not. There's always a gamble, isn't it? That's why they're taking their time. Because, as I keep saying, with a club like Chelsea and all these other, what you may call super clubs, failure is not an option. Being 7th is not an option. It's not an option for us. You must be in that top 4. And that's why people talk of an elite manager, somebody who can do that. Yes, these players are young, but we proved by the way we played against Real Madrid and all these other games here and there, that with the right manager, they're more than capable of achieving. The thing about young players is that they are hungry and they are energetic.
Motivated.
Exactly. It's just that we haven't had the right person to do that. And believe me, this is why I was talking about Pochettino. This is a very high-pressure job. He won't be able to come and sit down like he did at Southampton or even like he did at Spurs.
Yeah, there's a jump.
This is more pressure than he had at PSG.
Yeah.
And this is big boy stuff. Just like if he goes to Real Madrid, he's going to be under some real pressure. And that's just how it is. So my feeling is, none of us even know if Nagelsmann would be able to handle it. He seems to be able to. But I think Enrique would be able to handle it because he understands it. And he knows that when you're at a club like this, there's no such thing as failure of, give me time. All that sort of talk doesn't exist. Not for this level of investment.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll catch up with the chat and then we'll talk about the next manager. I'm guessing for you both, Roger made his point, even though he believes he'd do well at Chelsea and how he overachieved at Tottenham. The culture thing will be a serious problem, and Bobby emphasized that too. Has anyone seen Crystal Palace's new coach? Had to check twice. Roy Hodgson got the job back. I think more like their fixer right now because he's retired. It wasn't like he quit. The coolest chance of that, if Kai gets a contract extension, then I'd say it almost guarantees Felix returning to Atletico Madrid. But did I miss anything where you guys talked about Kai on the verge of getting a new contract? I missed it. Let's see. Vivel says, Ovia says, congrats to the winner. Nathaniel Obosi, I think it's a name, and I'll be waiting to have him reach out. You can reach out via Instagram too, if you don't want to create a Twitter account. Imagine being so bad to the point that Felix is going to try work things out with Simeone. Did you hear that?
What was that?
I did not hear that. Let's switch to the next manager in question. And Roger, I'll start with you. Let's talk about what you've had with regards to Luis Enrique. I don't believe it. I think everything we see out there in the media, they're all lies. That's how I see it. Some say that he's been ruled out. Some say he's still there. Some are reporting backing the argument that he's been ruled out, that he made some demands that aren't aligned with what the club hierarchy, what they're willing to do. But your thoughts on the situation? Do you think he gets a chance?
Yeah, I still think he's in the running. I think no one is ruled out right now. I think that's a safe assumption. I think because of the high visibility of a club like Chelsea, you're always going to get reports of person A, B, and C, either in higher interest or less interest, etc. And I think, based on experience over the years, you find most of these reports are ill-founded, shall we say. So I don't pay any attention and put any weight to them whatsoever.
I still think he's in the running. It wouldn't make any sense to just drop him out of the contention. Unless
you hear the club actually state so officially, I disregard anything. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. And the truth is, this is no different from what we see during transfer windows, where you hear Chelsea don't want to sign. They're not in contention for a particular they're not vying for the signature of a particular player, and the club wants player A, and then boom, player C comes in, and it's no different from that. I think he's still in contention. It wouldn't make any sort of sense for how did they. I think it's just an assumption, and the fact that the reports are conflicting clearly shows that Enrique is still in the running. But like I said, we will continue to follow the development. If anything, any new development emerges, rest assured we'll talk about it the next day until the manager hunt ends. I think it's important that we follow that story. So, but Roger, I haven't asked you this before I go back to Bobby. Let me ask you this at the same time while I'm still on you, because I'm sure Bobby's probably still on the road. How about the third manager we have here? We've talked about, let's talk about Nagelsmann. Everything we're hearing sounds like he's a front runner. But from what we're seeing here, if indeed that is the hierarchy, they vote, if they decide to vote on that is with regards to who to choose between the candidates, I think Poch, he's the front runner there. Let's look at this statement here. Let's compare the two statements. This one here, with regard to Nagelsmann, says Julian Nagelsmann in particular is thought to be a front runner. Here's the, but this comment doesn't really make sense. It's thought to be a front runner for the manager role in the eyes of Chelsea's sporting director. That's one individual, and at least one board member. That's two people. So I'm not sure how that makes him the front runner. Maybe you could say this is just suggesting because he has a working relationship with Christopher Vivell at RB Leipzig that makes him the front runner. Now look at this. This one now clearly says Mauricio Pochettino is the candidate who is collectively. That is, if we have to believe this whole thing, I don't know to what extent I should trust. I should trust what's his name?
Coach,
Simon Phillips. But this says, let me just read it out for you. It says, Mauricio Pochettino is the candidate who is collectively liked and accepted by everyone on the Chelsea board. If we're being objective, if we were to believe the rumors or what we've just read, then he's the front runner technically. But your thoughts?
Yeah, I usually go by more traditional sources. To me, when you have a discussion based on data or reports, the most important aspect is the credibility of the source, obviously. And so that generally, for me, reverts to a print source or the digital equivalent of that print source, like a Times, like a Telegraph, like a Guardian, etc. And so if this person, Chelsea Dodgers, is that person an actual journalist, a paid, credited journalist that is credible? I don't know. I would be rude of me to assume otherwise, but I doubt it. So usually the difference between a journalist and someone reporting online, the definition of journalism is they usually get, well, they have to, this is the journalism standard. You have to get two independent, verifiable sources. So that's the ethos of journalism, generally speaking. This is what the norm is. So if you normally go with someone that's of the print source, that they're actually, very credible journalists, then this is what usually transpires. Online, no, I doubt very much that they have that integrity. I could be wrong. I don't wish to be, inflammatory towards that person. So I mean no disrespect, but this is my general rule of thumb. Now, having said that, there are reports from the aforementioned print outlets that I mentioned that actually have stated that Luis Enrique is on the outside looking in now, etc. And even these journalistic outlets that are credible, even when it comes to the sporting aspect, their track record, shall we say, has a lot to be desired for. So I put very little faith or credibility in anything unless I hear from someone from the club officially. reports is just what it is. This isn't exactly Bob Woodward and Bernstein, for Watergate. These are not, credible journalists. So no, if they could very well be accurate, these reports, but we see and we hear these reports constantly on not even a weekly basis, on a daily basis, multiple times a day. And how often are these reports accurate? This is what you have to ask yourself. So you're basically spinning wheels. So when you hear people say or report these reports, we can honestly say that it's probably, between 1% and 5% accurate at best. When you accumulate all these reports based over, a calendar year. So why put much credence into it? It doesn't make sense. I don't go by that. It's just clickbait for the most part. So listen, I would say that these people, Pochettino's, the Nagelsmann, the Luis Enrique Martinez, these are viable, credible candidates. Only the executives will know where they stand right now in their, in how they're analyzing everything, and how they deem fit the criteria with which to choose from and who they believe will best be suited for this position. And so they are obviously in the process of ascertaining that. And so any reports thus far, I think, will just be, I just think it's codswallop.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just an update quickly, Anna, but let me catch up with what Bro Vivel here, aka 343 Dilemma, says. It's taught. That's exactly. It's taught to be. That's the word that I paid attention to that much. I don't just read stuff like that. I pay attention to each word. The construct, the word that makes up the construct of that. Any comment I read, that's how I operate. Yeah, that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
It's laughable. Is Nazar as reliable as Ben Jacobs? Here's the thing. I'm going to say this. These guys are still, I know some of them write. Simon Phillips, he writes for The Athletic, right? I think so. I'm not sure.
Yes. He's a pretty good journalist,
okay, here's
actually.
The thing. One thing I've noticed, and there's a pattern to that, every time you say, for instance, in the case of talking the transfers, when they talk about a particular transfer happening already, it's done already, it's just the final details and all that. Once in cases where it turns out that it's not happening, nearly all of them they get it wrong as a unit. That's something I've noticed. And I haven't taken my time to look at them as okay, which of them is more reliable? Or which of them has gotten something more wrong, has gotten something wrong on several occasions than the other one. So I just take everything that they put out there with a pinch of salt. I see them all as rumors. I don't put them into a single bucket. Take my time, analyze them, and come to a sensible conclusion. That's why I really pay attention to the words they use. And some of them are clever, because if you ask them, he could tell you that he specifically said is taught to be. He didn't say certainly. Roger, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
No,
They're clever, smart enough to pick and choose the words they use when they put out this nonsense. Ad spinners. I think that you could call them that. Big up Coachella. Remember the phrase, I am Jose Mourinho. This is the only person that can bring us to glory days. As much as I think he's capable of bringing us to glory days, but he's one manager, if he comes in, he'd be truthful to you. He'd just say to you straight up, this year it's not going to work, but next year it will work. And we've seen that before, where he used an analogy to the effect of he referred to the players as little horses.
Yeah,
the little horses next season, and he did something like this.
You know
we
what?
win the league, and it happened. But go ahead, Roger. You wanted to say something.
Listen, Mourinho is a proven track record. He has one. He's prolific in his trophy cabinet. There's no doubting his pedigree. However, there's certain things that I have issue with Monsieur Mourinho. One is that he invariably leaves the club worse off than when he found it initially. And second of all, his tenure is usually quite short. He's not renowned for staying for 4, 5, 6 years, etc. It's barely 3, if anything. And the fourth is, I have an issue with the fact that he will, based on our recent acquisitions, I doubt very much that most of them will ever be used. If he is chosen as our manager / head coach currently right now, next season, he will hardly. He may use Mudryk. I don't know about Felix if he's even going to be at the club. Most of these, like Madueke, will he really use them? I doubt it. He'll go with proven commodities, like a Sterling or a.
And probably would demand some signings in the summer.
Yes, of course, and so that means that the people that we've acquired especially the last window, they are, for all intents and purposes, put on the back burner at the very least, and probably will say they're surplus to requirements. He is a person that isn't a project manager per se, if you see what I mean. Don't forget that, and he would want a far greater say in the transfer market, than he would tell Vivell, Winstanley, Stewart, and so forth that, no, listen, this is who I want. Get them, please. They will have very little input. I don't think that's a recipe for success. This marriage will end in acrimony, I believe. Will he bring success? Well, I think there's a safe assumption. Yes, he did with Man United, even though it was quite acrimonious. He got them silverware, if I'm not mistaken, the League Cup, I think, etc. I think he finished second, which he's quoted as saying is his greatest achievement ever. But tongue in cheek. So, part of me says I'd love to have him back, but that's the heart. That the head says no for obvious reasons.
Let me see what Jesse has in the chat here. Luciano Spalletti says, Vivell, the latest addition. I think we've heard a lot of names. We've heard Marcelo Gallardo, the former River Plate manager, the tiki-taka merchant, I call him.
Yeah.
But he's tactically he's good. But I think I did a thread where I talked about his lack of European experience could be a huge issue here. But I don't think the rumors were that actually the club were close to the club was close to appointing him. It turns out it was all nonsense. And even the big accounts carried that news too. Marcelo Spalletti, good luck dealing with what's the Napoli president's name? And I think this is about the current isn't Spalletti the current Napoli manager? Now am I mixing things up? Yeah, I'm correct. Good luck dealing with the Napoli president, if that makes sense. Thank you for bringing that up. And JC, my bro, says, Coach, smoked past my previous post. I think it was one of those comments between where I had to scroll to the very bottom because there was a lot to read. Apologies for that, especially the fact you remember. So I will repeat, on the legal advice, any CFC connections to Poch are a work of art, a fiction, and any resemblance to real life a strange coincidence. Honestly, you may well be very correct. After all, you heard me talk about the rumors with regards to Marcelo Gallardo. The rumors, it came out, the big accounts carried it, that Chelsea were close to appointing him. And it turns out, after doing a bit of research, I think they know people will believe it because I think Enzo Fernandez worked under him. So it was easy for people to just suck it all up, and it did catch up. So it may well be absolute. The Poch, the Poch is part of has become one of the clubs that the club is considering hiring Poch or Nagelsmann or Luis Enrique. There's a chance it's absolute nonsense. So thank you for bringing it up again. Taking Poch rumors so seriously can seriously endanger sanity of mental health. I think you're a comedian, but you haven't told us yet the way you twist these things. But much love to you for that contribution right there. Why is the ownership not talking to Jose Mourinho? It makes you mad. For a couple of reasons. One, maybe they're still prioritizing the long-term project. If they decide tomorrow they just want a manager for just 3 years, even if they tell Mourinho we want here just for 3 years, I think he'd take it. Maybe they don't want the short-term manager, but I've said, if I were one of those the decision makers, I'd really put aside the long-term project at this point and
Would you hire him,
stabilize it. Sorry?
Would you hire Mourinho tomorrow?
For short term, for 3 years maybe, and you know quite well he hasn't stayed beyond 3 years at any club. Maybe at Porto, I don't know his history at Porto.
It was close to 3, I think, but yeah,
it was
right.
Close to 3. So yeah, and I think he's used to it, and it has always worked for him.
Yeah, even though he has a soft spot for Chelsea per se, but you would hire him.
I would, and you could argue he'd be eager to come back to Chelsea, unfinished business. Specifically, he didn't get to win the Champions League with Chelsea.
Exactly, and you know what? There's no denying that he would get a silverware within 2 to 3 years. I'm not denying that or disputing that. I have faith in the fact that he would do that, but it would be at the detriment of the 322 million pounds that we spent. Yeah, 322.6 million pounds we spent in the last window, and for the most part, I should say, and it would throw the project out of the window. It wouldn't align with what we've been told from the executives and from Egbali and Bowley. It just wouldn't align with their long-term vision. But it would indeed, I wouldn't say guarantee us trophies, but it's as good as guarantees you can get with anyone. Because I would be shocked if he was with us for the next 3 seasons and we didn't have any silverware at the end of it. I'd be shocked.
Yeah,
but
thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead.
I personally wouldn't want him back because of the long term. But for short term, I get your logic and I agree with it. It makes sense. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, even if he comes with the intent to stay long term, something will pop up someday and he gets mad. You know him.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. During his first stint at Chelsea, didn't he publicly say, "Fire me and I'll walk away a millionaire"?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's who he is. He doesn't give SISHIT if when he gets to that point.
He
and I
doesn't
think
want
it may
that
well happen because, like you explained quite well during your response to that particular subject, he would want established heads as soon as possible. Yes, and probably, like you mentioned, a lot of these young players will not get the chance under him.
He's an alpha.
It's as simple as that.
You can't tie him down with that proverbial football wedding ring. You know, he wants to sleep around with other clubs. You know, he's not faithful, so to speak. He's I don't know. He's not tied to one team ever, and he is probably coming to a point in the next few years where he's probably want to coach Porto or a national team. I'm sorry, Portugal or a national team. Yeah.
So thank you so much. And some idea just came to mind. I think we'll be calling the monthly student giveaway. The name for it is Stay in School giveaway. Yeah, so thank you so much. And it makes me so happy to do such for people who I know that really needs it. Why is this ownership not talking? I've read that one. And this here, Moha says, I think the decision was made long ago. Prepare to hire Nagelsmann. I guess that's what you're saying. It's done. Okay, I remember you said that. Hello, coach. I blame the UK government. A lot of people do that. Kembar, nice to see you. It's been a while. I hope you're well. But yeah, they started it because we always look back and say, had Roman still, again, if he was still our owner, would be better off. But they also, the new owners also did make a mistake. You know, it's for a myriad of reasons. I mean, you don't have to hire him. Just have him for the interview process, since we have people like Poch, Amorim being interviewed. I think Mourinho is, I don't know what language to use. I think he's a very proud man. I don't think it actually get involved, since, again, if you have an interview process, he would, I think he's the sort of person that if you want to give him the job, give him the job. He's not going to go into interview the other person, and the other person, and then he waits for you to make your choice. I think he's so confident in his abilities to say, if you want to give me the job, give me the job. If not, you go ahead, interview those one of those people you're interviewing and choose from them, and good luck with it. What do you make of that, Roger?
Yeah, no, I agree. He's not the type to mince words, is he? He's yeah, I don't think he's in the equation, no.
He's not.
From what I can tell, I don't know. Three choices: Pochettino, Nagelsmann, or Luis Enrique Martinez. Who would you prefer out of all of those three?
Can you call them
Anybody
again?
else? Martinez, Nagelsmann, or who's the other one? Or Pochettino? Who would you prefer?
Honestly, I'll take Luis Enrique.
Really?
I get it. The argument, people always argue that he won everything that he won at Barcelona alone, and that's the truth. I get it. He didn't do badly. He didn't do badly with the Spanish national team. Remember, they don't have the talent they used to have. They have more younger talents that is there. You could say their golden generation they've all, nearly all of them have retired right now. So they're starting to rebuild. Yeah, they're in a review process, if I'm allowed to say that. Go ahead.
If you have the time, and I know you're a very busy chap because you're a parent of young children, but if you ever get the opportunity, watch Spain under Luis Enrique. Watch him the last tournament they played. You know, I think it was the Euros, if I'm not mistaken. Look at the beautiful football they played. You know, as I said,
and it's not just about keeping the ball. They're very, they're very, you can say, direct too. It's a mix of keeping the ball and being direct at the same time. Go ahead.
They absolutely dominated Italy. I think in the quarterfinals or the semi-finals, they were the best team in Europe, bar none. You know, and this is a knockout tournament. You know, obviously where the best team seldom ever wins. And if he can get Chelsea to play that kind of football, it's not only attractive on the eye. You know, the only thing he didn't have was number 9. Who was their striker? That used to play for Chelsea. I forgot his name.
Morata.
Yeah, I love Morata, but he couldn't hit the side of a barn either. I thought he was going to be a huge success.
And obviously, I don't want to say what comes to mind, so you don't respond by saying thanks for that picture.
Yeah, but you know, Morata, he wasn't clinical for them. You know, listen, this is the only thing that I've ever observed him play, and obviously Barcelona. And I must admit, if you get the time, watch Spain play under him. It was beautiful football. So
I agree with you. Let me catch up with the chat, and then we can call it a day. We'll continue the discussion tomorrow. And if anything pops up, I'm planning on doing starting the evening daily roundup again. I think I'm well rested, and I should be able to do it without any issues. Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Coach. The board wants all fans to unite behind Nagelsmann, and I like that nickname you gave him, Glassman. But throwing in name of Enrique alongside turned counterproductive. That may well have been the case. But the Poch rumors are doing a wonder in uniting fans backing for Glassman. I think that's a very, very interesting logic there, a powerful one indeed, which makes sense because now a lot of fans, it's like giving people two options, knowing fully well the first option is the one you want them to pick, knowing fully well the second option, intentionally you just added it there just to drive them to go, you know what, I want option 1. I don't want anything to do with option 2. That may well be the case, but let's see, because these guys have proven they're very smart and PR merchants, like I called them. Let's see what we have there. Being a manager at Chelsea is not a long-term. That has changed. The owners, they've shown with the hiring of Graham Potter that they really want to do that. They gave him a 5-year contract. That shows really they want to. They still believe in that long-term prospect of a team. But let's see what happens. Morata has been clinical. Hasn't been clinical for anyone. Yeah. But the thing about him is that you could say what conduces the fact that he's not a clinical. He's not been clinical is that he's not just a stereotypical striker. He's able to drop deep and participate in the play too. I think that makes a whole lot of difference. Even without the goals, the manager will still, keep him. Chadwick Evans, big up to you, my Jamaican brother. Heights and blessings. I hope you've been well. I haven't seen you in a while. Good morning, our Chelsea family, straight from Jamaica. Blessings, my bro. God bless you. Mourinho is a top-class coach. He doesn't need interview. Yep, that's exactly my point. I think if you try to get him to get involved in the process, I think he would say no. If he chooses to come back, he would jump on the opportunity to come back, but not when it involves him, going through the interview process with other managers being involved. He will probably see it as if they're disrespecting him. But we move on from that. Roger, your final thoughts so we can call it a day. We'll still continue with this conversation tomorrow. But go ahead.
I just want to talk about the Champions League very briefly. I was really shocked about Napoli going out. I thought they would make it to the final. And I can't wait to see the City Real Madrid game. Last night, the City Bayern game, it was quite an interesting game. The amount of quality on the field was unbelievable. That Haaland chap, wow. It's a shame we couldn't have got him. The man is a prolific clinical finisher. 48
and I think
goals
Pep has actually improved his overall game. Has improved him. He's become better, really. He's added more to his game since he joined Man City.
He's been really poor this season. I think it will take him time to acclimate to the Premier League, and I think he'll be better next season. Of course, I'm joking. He's unbelievable. 48 goals in 41 matches is obscene, especially and don't forget, he's hardly playing the full 90 minutes. And when you add all that up, he's invariably taken off at half.
And that's like 1 point something goals per game.
Yeah, it's over one. Don't forget, he's most of those 41 matches, he has hardly ever finished the games. They take him off prematurely, which is good man management, very good man management. He's been taken off when he's got 2 goals. He understands the big picture, and it's just, I know he's a freak of nature. He's got side speed, strength. He can score all kinds of goals. It's a shame that Chelsea couldn't have, signed him basically, because he's the type of person. I know we don't have the creative midfield, or at least to the extent that Manchester City does, to obviously provide him the ability to score. But we need someone to be as clinical as that. We really do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Roger. I think with that, we've come to the natural end of the show. I'm going to say thank you to everyone that found the time to join us today. It's been an excellent show, and I'm happy about the winner of today's giveaway. We call it the Stay in School giveaway. Nathaniel Poposio, congratulations to you. I haven't heard anything since the draw. If you're watching, try reach me via Twitter or Instagram. I have the ID, the channel ID, because everyone that participates in the chat has a channel, but maybe you're not a content creator, but I can click on the 3 dots and say go to channel. Then I have the ID of that particular person that won it. In case anybody tries to impersonate the winner, it's not going to work. So Nathaniel, you reach out to me via Twitter or Instagram. So we talk about how you show you're a student, and you get the $100 you've won. Congratulations to you once more again. And next month we hope to do more or the same measure. It depends. Let's see what happens. Thank you. And Roger, thank you so much. I appreciate you staying to the end of the show. I cannot thank you enough. And here, Obi Joy says, Mourinho, yep, I think I've read that one. And JC says, Coach, let us all call it as it is. Mourinho does not like being associated with really, with reality. Does not like being associated with reality. Show Hunger Games excuse. Okay. Now I get it. The Hunger Games movie, reality, the version of it. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you so much to you too, Viva, for finding the time to join the show. Nagelsmann will sign. Okay, delete if he joins us. Is that what you're saying? Andrew Fowler, let's see what happens. Nathaniel, congrats again. To you. Thank you. More thanks to you for finding the time to join the show. Thank you to everyone that was in the chat. from Glenn to everyone else. Mohaz, if I missed your name, apologies.
Don't thank
I'm only
Glenn.
human. Yep, Glenn, my bro, I appreciate him.
And
With
thank
that,
you,
we've come to the
Bobby.
end.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
go
you,
and
Bobby.
Bobby
Also-
too. Thank you for remembering that. Everyone else and those that was on the panel, thank you. See you guys
Coach.
next time. God bless us all, and bye.
Thanks, Coach.
More thanks to you.